We're up bright and early to bring you another world debut from the Cannes Boat Show. This is the SanLorenzo SP92, the smaller sister to the SP110. It's not that much smaller though, it's 27 metres, it's got 4,000 horsepower and jet drives. It'll do about 38 knots. We're going to give you the full tour. It's an early morning, the cleaners are still on board doing their thing, but we wanted to bring it to you as soon as we could. Let's get going. Before we get into the tour, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time we upload a new review. Right, let's get on with it. The key characteristics of these boats, the SP110 and this new model, are they're on jet drives. You can see those underneath the bathing platform here. This is twin jets. The SP110 is triple jets. As I said, 4,000 horsepower, courtesy of a pair of MAN 2000s and a 38 knot top speed. Pretty impressive for something knocking on the door of 90 feet. And then you have this massive aft platform here. This is a significant part of this line's appeal. You have this lovely aft living area, very wide, nice and flat, obviously very open to the elements. And back here, this fixed platform, but there is this section here that drops down into the water. And you've also got a tender garage underneath that sunbathing space, which is large enough for around a 4-metre tender. Let's head up into the cockpit. Now, this being a SanLorenzo, the arrangement is very flexible. Customization is key to the brand. So if you didn't want this arrangement, if you wanted a table out here, for example, you could do that. Obviously, this particular model, it's all about sunbathing space in this sort of pod of sun pad where you can move around these headrests to adjust this space to use it however you like. You can make it into seating, you can clear it completely to make just a place where you can lie. It's very flexible. And of course, you've got the cover overhead of this canopy, these poles slot in either side, and obviously you can remove that for when the boat is moving along. On either side, of course, you've got the mooring gear. Down over on this side, we've got the controls for all of these functions out aft, the platform, the gangway. That passerelle, incidentally, drops down into the water to create a stairway down into the sea. It also obviously acts as your passerelle out onto the quayside, so it's flat at the moment, but it will also go up as well if the quayside is higher than the boat. And this also opens up the tender garage. So all your controls for that are down there. Mooring gear down on this side, and there's storage on either side as well. These really striking doors that ape the SP110, but we're not going to go inside for the moment. We're going to stay on deck and we'll start off up at the foredeck. Symmetrical side decks, no guardrails, so to speak, but you've got these big, tall bulwarks that are broken as well. So you've got that nice gap, which obviously gives you a connection to the water from inside the saloon. And this is lovely, how they've integrated the staircase up to the sun deck. It's not gobbling up space in the cockpit. You wouldn't even know it's there, really. It's really nicely done, and we'll have a look at that after we go onto the foredeck. We're heading forward. It's a large boat, so it's very comfortable to move around on. You can see you've got the fender clips here. So you pop the fenders on the end of those and they slot into the deck, and then you remove the whole thing and put it away when you've moved away from the berth. And this is another really impressive living space on board this boat. Again, you've got the canopy shade like you've got aft, and then you've got this lovely mix of seating space, this nice sofa underneath the windscreen. These tables both go up and down as well, so you can adjust them to coffee table height if you want. And then forward of that, you've just got sheer sunbathing space right forward at the bow. There's some really nice detailing as well. I love the curvature around here and the way the stainless steel runs around it, and the way that even though this area is curved, you see how the boat hooks, there's boat hooks on both sides, have their own slots nestled on either side. When you're pulling up lines in the meds, you're using lazy lines, having one boat hook on either side of the dedicated spot is really, really useful for the crew. It's a beautiful boat, it's a really attractive boat, but SanLorenzo build boats are designed to be used, and they're practically thought out as well. And on that note, it's quite nice how all of this anchor mooring gear forward is hidden under this hatch. So when it's not in use, it's all hidden away. This is a flat surface. Then when you want to use it, you can just pop it up and get access to all of the mechanicals. Let's head to the Flybridge. I'm heading up that staircase that I told you about on the starboard side deck that's so subtly integrated, and then we're onto the sun deck. And this is one of the coolest features on the boat, I think. Flat dashboard, but when you want to use the control from up here, look at that. The helm just appears, very much for slow speed maneuvering. Of course, this is a jet drive boat, so you've got the joystick. This is not for going at speed. This is for doing stuff around the marina, but it means the skipper has got this great all-round view. They're elevated, and then when you're not using it, obviously it folds away and you never know it was there. As for the rest of the sun deck, well, it's a sun deck, so there's sunbathing space all over the place, as you would expect No doubt if you wanted a table up here, you could have that, but this boat is set up purely as somewhere to come and catch the sun. That said, like the other deck spaces, you've got this lovely canopy as well, so you've got some shade up here when it's really, really warm. The other thing to point out in this area is you've got the solar panels right forward. Those are designed really just to top up the domestic batteries. So, this is a large open space. There's no sunroof, obviously, but that then can absorb the sun's rays and will help just to keep those domestic batteries topped up to run the services. You've also got some practical stuff up here as well. So there's a nice big storage bin here. This has got covers in it at the moment, but you could fit a huge amount of kit in there actually. It's really handy. And they've even put a fridge down here as well so that you have some cool drinks. You don't have to go too far to grab the next cold beer. Let's head downstairs. Moving into the saloon, this is such a great space. It's really architectural, the shapes in here, the way that they've integrated the glass on either side, the size of that glass too, it's sort of above your head as well, and there's this strip of glazing up top, so it's really got a very airy feel, a proper atrium effect. And the way it all links together is beautiful. It feels like an apartment here. You've got this staircase down to the lower deck where the accommodation is, and then this mezzanine up into the living area, the lounging area, and the dining space. It's flexible though. If you wanted a dining space back here, you could do that. But this works really nice as somewhere to sit and lounge. The TV pops up from over there, a flat floor between this space and that living space out there. So the connection between these areas is great with these really stylish doors that have the kink in them up to the deck head here. And the ceiling heights are extraordinary. Look how much higher the ceiling is. It's absolutely amazing. And again, it really elevates the feeling of space in here. And then moving up the steps, here on the starboard side, you've got storage very neatly integrated into this unit over here. All these light switches as well. Again, really beautiful design, very, very subtly integrated into the paneling. And this is a lovely space. Again, the windows are floor to ceiling in this area. On this side, this is a sliding door, so this opens right up to give you access onto the side decks. But of course, gives you some ventilation as well if you don't want to be relying on the air conditioning if it's not too warm. And this is your nice seating area here. So it's a nice place to sit and have a drink, have a coffee. And then you've got your dining space as well. Again, these arrangements with the SanLorenzo are incredibly flexible. You could do whatever you want with these spaces. They've given you this amazing blank canvas, this wonderful space that is so interesting. I love that view back, looking down over the seating area with those windows either side, the amazing glass at the back, and then out onto your aft deck. It looks fabulous looking back from this angle. They're currently working on the software at the helm, so before we go to there, let's head downstairs and have a look at the cabins. Let's check out the accommodation then. We'll start amidships. In this format, this is what they call a jolly cabin. So it's just a place to come and chill out really, crash out, in the air conditioning, relax. You can close it off with these partition doors here, but you can also spec this as a proper cabin. You could get a small double in here if you wanted it that way. It's also got the day head, but of course that is the ensuite to this cabin if you have it in the 4-cabin format. Let's check out the rest of the guest cabins. Now there's identical guest doubles either side here. We'll just pop into this starboard side one. These are lovely spaces. They're beautifully executed, nice sized bed, and this is the theme we'll see throughout, this lovely curvature in the ceiling here, and proper portholes too. They really do look the business, but they also deliver a fair amount of natural light in here. And both these bathrooms have got really nicely sized and spec'd private en-suites with a bit of hanging storage behind the door here. TV on the wall as well, I should mention, and of course you've got individual air conditioning in each cabin. But let's keep heading forward, because that is where the owner's cabin is aboard the SP92. And again, we have this lovely repeat of the deck head design. I think it's really, really nice. The decor in here is super tasteful, and this is a beautiful piece of design. I've seen this on other SanLorenzos and Blue games, in fact, but it's lovely. And the way the lights come on, they're always backlit, but then the lights pop on when you open the door. It's really nice. Loads of floor space in here. There's not a bureau or anything like that, but you have got a sofa opposite the bed, and the TV mounted again, subtly integrated up on this wall. And this is lovely how they've put the bathroom in. So you've got this sliding glass door, and then you've got split shower, toilets in there, and a lovely big shower cubicle, and all of this glass work as well. The frame, the quality, the craftsmanship is excellent. Sink behind me, nice deep sink, and there's some storage behind these mirrors as well. It's a lovely space. Before we get to the helm, just a couple of other details I want to show you. This is nice. You've got your bar behind this door that folds away like that. That's lovely. And then underneath, you've got ice maker, fridge, all neatly hidden away behind these lovely panels. And then there's just a big drawer here as well for some storage. And then when the the bar's closed, you can hide it away and you'd never really know it's there. It's the same with all of this, the technical lockers, it's all hidden away really nicely. This is just storage over here, though there is a wine cooler down underneath. But let's get into the Helm Station. It's all glass, obviously, to maintain that view forward, but if the crew do want to have some privacy, or more importantly the guests want some privacy, they can slide a door across to fully seal this area, and the crew space is down there, so it's all quite nicely connected in the same area. Helm Station. It's well, it's an important part of the boat because this is a performance boat. You have got that docking station up on the Flybridge, but this is where you're going to do the driving from. And I've mentioned that 38 knot top speed. That is very impressive for a boat of this size, obviously, but what's more impressive and really what it's designed for is fast cruising. At 35 knots, you're looking at a range of 425 nautical miles, which is pretty incredible given the size of the boat and the amount of power it's got. In terms of controls, it's jet drive, so you get the twin throttles, one for each jet when you're at speed, and then for slow speed manoeuvring, the joystick. We've seen one upstairs, but you've got one down here as well. So that's similar to IPS if you're not familiar, twist, push. You've also got a bow thruster as well, so you can separately control the bow if you'd like to. Humphrey interceptors as well down here, they're adjusting the trim. You leave those on auto and they will just manage the boat's trim depending on how fast it's going effectively. But yeah, it's designed for comfortable, quiet, fast cruising. There are big engines down there, you're a long way forward, you should be pretty isolated from them even when you're charging along at 35 knots. Let's head downstairs to the crew space. The crew space connects really well to the helm and this side door, which gives them access out onto the port side deck, and it's very useful that they can jump down from the driving station to their crew quarters easily. And it's designed to carry 4 crew, and of course, as well as being the crew space, this is where they're going to cater for guests, so it needs a well-equipped galley, and it's got one. Big hob here, double width oven, there's extraction overhead, and this is all cooling space here. Fridge, freezer, all domestic size, all neatly covered behind these panels, and it's finished nicely as well. Doesn't necessarily feel like a crew area, it's finished to a high standard. They've got a couple of hull windows down here for some natural light and some socialising space as well, where they can dine, watch TV, do some work. They've got a screen up here as well, so they have oversight of all the boat systems and separate air conditioning for this area too. Now behind the camera is where the washer dryer are, and then off either side you have the identical sleeping cabins. Let's head to the engine room. There are 2 access points to the SP92's engine room. One of them is here in the cockpit through this hatch. If you enter down on the port side, make your way around the engines. As you can see, headroom is okay, and then quickly the space opens up and you're between this pair of MAN V12 2000s. Good levels of headroom here. It's all finished in white as well, very SanLorenzo, but it does make it very easy to spot any leakages or anything like that when it's all finished in this beautiful clean checker plate. Now, I mentioned the other access door, that's actually behind the camera. There's a full height door which emerges in the jolly cabin, which we saw earlier on, and around the engine space is fine. As you can see, this is the tender garage, so there's the usual intrusion. Underneath that you've got the Seakeeper 26, the stabilizer, obviously most effective when the boat's stationary. That's going to eliminate any roll, well, much of the roll when the boat's on anchor. Then when you're at speed, and you will be going at speed, it's up to the dynamic stability of the boat. You can see the jet drives down there. They're obviously right back towards the aft end of the engine room, but again, you can crawl down there and actually the space opens up a bit more once you get towards that end. It's all very neat and all very tidy, and yeah, considering the size of these blocks, it's a good space. There you have it then, that is the SanLorenzo SP92, a pretty novel addition to this sector. Fast, powerful, stylish, customizable, something to get you to where you want to go in style and at a serious pace. But let me know this, if you were looking for a boat of this size with this type of performance, would you go for this or the Pershing 9X? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching that tour of the SP92. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you want to watch my tour of SanLorenzo's Power Cat, the Blue Game BGM 75, you can do that by clicking this box up here, and if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines, this is YachtBuyer.